Do you know that you can actually go to prison for the crime of your son, your daughter, or actually your sibling? This is the story of several persons you are seeing in this video.
Elderly people you see here are victims of circumstances. Their children committed crimes and ran away, so the mothers and fathers were arrested to force their children to surrender. Most of the time, the children never show up and the parents end up dying in prison.
Do you know the pain that a parent will experience every day of his or her life, knowing fully well that he or she did not commit a crime, and he or she is now spending his or her entire life in jail, all because of the crime of a son or a daughter that he brought into this world? This is the case of many persons in Nigeria, and Mr. Christian Chuka, the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation, is out to expose some things that are going on in Nigeria. Mr. Christian was born in Nigeria to a very poor family. He has 8 siblings. Life was not easy for them. Mr. Christian Chuka only attended primary school education, and after his primary school education, he was sent to Cameroon by his parents for apprenticeship. After Mr. Christian finished apprenticeship, his master in Cameroon refused to settle him. Coming back to Nigeria, his parents sent him to Maiduguri to another master for apprenticeship. And after serving, the master also refused to settle Mr. Chuka. Do you know what he did? Mr. Chuka begged the mom, and she sold all her properties, gave him the sum of 10,000 naira in 1987. And with that money, Mr. Chuka Christian fled to Gambia for business. It was in Gambia that he started a business that was gradually flourishing. But Mr. Chuka wanted to become a millionaire overnight. Do you know what he did? Mr. Chuka came back to Nigeria, denounced his inheritance, changed his name from a Nigerian name to a Gambian name, processed an international passport at the Gambian immigrations, and he traveled to Sweden, where he thought he's going to get a better life. In Sweden, life was not easy for Mr. Chuka Christian. He only had a basic 6 education. What he resorted doing was to marrying an older Swedish woman who was 12 years older than him. Mr. Chuka, even after marrying the Swedish woman, could not make ends meet. He now entered drug peddling. He was pushing cocaine from one end of the world to the other, not until he was caught and he was jailed for 15 years. While in prison, Mr. Chuka never maintained good conduct. He was watching pornography and doing all manner of illicit behavior in prison. On one fateful day, as he was going through his laptop, trying to bring up another video of pornography to watch as usual, Mr. Chuka came in contact with a pastor who was preaching on the altar, and that was how his life changed for the better. Mr. Chuka said that a couple of days after that very encounter in his room trying to watch pornography, the state in Sweden gave him a pardon. Someone who was supposed to serve 15 years was released from jail after 8 years. Mr. Chuka vowed at that very moment that he's going to reach out to every prison inmate across all the correctional centers in Nigeria. Currently, Nigeria has 246 correctional centers, and Mr. Chuka Christian has succeeded in visiting a whopping sum of 225 correctional centers. Mr. Chuka has seen the highs and lows. Many persons are in prison not for crimes that they committed, but because of mistaken identity. Many persons have been put in prison by those that feel that they are the high and mighty in the society. Mr. Chuka has exposed the evil that is being done in government houses. He has sought for help from senators, from governors, from House of Assembly members, but each one gave him deaf ears. This is to show that our governments, our politicians really know what is going on in Nigeria, but their priority is somewhat misplaced. Watch some of these videos and see what is going on in the country Nigeria, and leave your comments in the comment section below.
Elderly people you see here are victims of circumstances. Their children committed crimes and ran away, so the mothers and fathers were arrested to force their children to surrender. Most of the time, the children never show up and the parents end up dying in prison. These elderly individuals are not criminals, but are in prison simply for bringing a child into the world. This mother you are seeing here was in prison for 10 years before she died. What was her crime? Her son committed murder and disappeared, so she and one of her sons was arrested. She spent 10 years in prison, suffering heartache and regret. Dear children, do not cause your parents such pain that leads to their death because of your actions. This mother died after 10 years in pain in Omaha prison. Do not cause your parents such pain. Let me even shock you more. These beautiful babies are born in a prison. Pregnant teenagers caught up in fights end up in prison with innocent babies in their wombs. They give birth to these wonderful babies under terrible conditions, with the babies suffering from the crimes their mothers committed. This can be avoided if you spend time in Sunday school, attend church services, and listen to your parents and teachers. Think about this. Prison conditions in Nigeria and Africa are like hell on earth. You would have to give up the wonderful rooms in your father's house and share tiny cells with hundreds of inmates. Many of them suffer from diseases such as scabies, HIV, tuberculosis, hepatitis B, and other contagious illnesses. Dead bodies are carried out of prison yard daily due to hunger and sicknesses.
I will praise him for everlasting, everlasting to everlasting.
Look at the bodies of these inmates. Do you really want this for yourself? Do you really want to get into this? Certainly not. Look at this one. He's dead inside the cell. Watch him. Here you can see the big boys walking around with canes, beating the younger inmates. If anything is given to the younger ones in the prison, such as food from their parents outside or from their relatives, the big boys will take it by force. After enduring these frustration incidents, you may become a hardened criminal, and death could await you if you come out of prison and continue in your old ways. The food in prison is something I don't want even to describe in detail. What you see here is better than what we have in many prisons. Can you imagine leaving your mother's wonderful meals, adapting to this awful food for years? When you end up in prison, you won't have access to your phone, remember, meaning your parents won't know where you are, sometimes for 4 years or even longer. Children, think about this. If this is truly what you want to get involved in just because you are seeking relevance among youths, it's not worth it, my dear. Can you sleep in this horrible condition for years when you stop only getting to prison? Can you survive years with the smell of this shit from soccer pits inside the prison and broken toilets inside the prison yard? Do you know how it smells like python inside the prison?